games start, but we're going to start right at the top here. Jacksonville, Indiana. Indiana getting 60% of the bets and 63% of the money. This line hasn't really moved too much. I mean, we have a divisional, double-digit favorite here. It's historically, I mean, that's kind of like a tough spot for the favorite. These double-digit spreads, back in the day, double-digit spreads were rare. We've seen, I think at my last count, there was 19 of them total, double-digit spreads this year. That's more than like some full seasons combined had. Back in the day, it was very rare to see like double-digit favorites, but a lot of disparity between the good and bad teams here. I'm going to move this over, I don't know, here maybe? I don't know, bear with me here. But yeah, not much telling, at least market-wise here. Jags won outright as a double-digit dog last week. Defense played pretty good. Jaguars had more takeaways against the Bills than they have in their first 7 games combined, which I thought was kind of interesting. But I do think that Jaguars win in the performance by the Jags had a lot more to do with Buffalo than it did the Jaguars defense. And I'll talk more about the Buffalo in their breakdown. But Jags have now won 2 out of their last 3. And I'm a real sucker for like these double-digit. Forgot some Brazil. Got a source play here. What is it? Let me see here. Brazil, Flamengo, -110. I don't know. I don't know when it starts. I'm not going to check right now. But Brazil, Flamengo, Flamengo, soccer. That's from the soccer source. Where was I? Oh yeah, Jags, Indiana. Yeah, as much as I'm a sucker for kind of like those quadruple Ds, I call them, double-digit divisional dogs, I can't get behind Jacksonville here. Colts running game, really strong. Jonathan Taylor's a stud. Like the Colts defense, especially against the run, but I can't back the Colts here either because Carson Wentz, I guess he was reported sick this week, missed some time. He's not a quarterback you want to back. That's not 100%. And if I was to play this game, it'd probably be the under, but I'd want that key number of 48. The current number doesn't look as good, but let's move along here. We've got Browns, Patriots. Bets are pretty split on this game. New England's gotten a lot of the action, 70% as of now. Line open 3. It's down to 1 in some spots. Circa's hanging at 2.5, but Bet Online just adjusted to 1 recently. This is a really tough game for me. There are 2 teams I have, future bets on. I have the over regular season win total of 10 for Cleveland. I got over 9 for the Patriots. I have the Patriots to make the playoffs at +140. I have Cleveland to win the Super Bowl, and I'm definitely not ripping up that ticket just yet. I think Cleveland gets it going. Besides the future bets for New England, they're always tough for me as a native New Englander and, lifelong Patriots fan. I try not to bet games involving the Patriots. I don't want any like subconscious bias creeping in or playing a role. Betting on or against them is something I try not to do. But I do think the Patriots are overachieving. I know they're only 5-4, but if you look at their analytics as a team, or even just their talent, they're definitely. This is a legit playoff team, and they weren't really expected to be. I mean, to make the playoffs, they were +150. They were +160 at one point. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Something interesting about this game is actually like the line history here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's go to 5 times. Before the past Sunday's game, like the look-ahead line, this is like a bettable line that you can bet before last week's game. It's not technically the opening line, even though it's where it opened, but it's, back on November 3rd, I think, Patriots open -3. Um, and this is you could actually make bets at this number here. But what's interesting, come Sunday, right? You fast forward up to Sunday, whatever that was, like the 8th or 9th, that Monday, the line opens basically everywhere at a pick'em. And it makes no sense really because, I mean, both teams won. Patriots beat Carolina pretty easily. Browns beat Cincinnati easily. And then on Monday, the game reopens as a pick. Both teams won, but there's a 3-point adjustment. You don't really see that too often with a 3-point adjustment with both teams coming off a win. Browns definitely looked good on both sides of the ball, +3 in turnover differential, but the Patriots look good too, especially on defense. And looks like Browns running back Nick Chubb is out. He's so big for them. He really is. I almost think like, I mean, in the NFL, like I'm not devaluing or up, like teams that are losing running backs. So I feel like they're a dime a dozen. Another guy can just step right in, but Chubb is really big for that team. And but finally the Browns are getting healthy on defense for the first time. I really think what we saw from the Browns last week is the team that they really are, or who I thought they'd be all season. Browns, they fit the true Wong teaser strategy. That could be a good spot, especially where it's a low total too. So it actually fits like all the Wong teaser parameters, especially if it's at like you can only get like 1.5 or whatever. But anyway, let's keep moving along here. We got Atlanta, Dallas. Bets are pretty much split. SPD #, that's the percentage of bets. SPD $, that's the amount of money. So we're seeing basically split bets and a little bit more money on Atlanta. This is a game I flip-flopped on. I liked Atlanta at the opener. You guys know how I feel about one-score games. Well, Atlanta's now played 6 straight one-possession games. And now, getting more than one possession here, they're getting, what is it now? What are they currently at? Yeah, 8. It's kind of an interesting spot. This was basically my thought process all week. Like Atlanta plays in close, tough games, one-possession games. Now they're getting, 8 points. Falcons, though, I mean, I don't know. I can't really get behind them. I know Rich is on Dallas, which I talked to him after. I was like, what did you make that number? And he had them, I think, like Dallas, like as an 11-point favorite there. Even when the Falcons win, though, too, they blow leads. They have 0 running game. Last week, I think they ran the ball 25 times for 34 yards. I know the Saints defense is good, and Dallas defense definitely isn't the Saints defense, but betting teams coming off of bad losses like Dallas, it's not smart. It's, what a lot of bettors do based on like the recency bias. They see Dallas play a bad game, lose to Denver. Do they now think Dallas, like that's who they are? Or would it, you trust a larger sample size of the previous 6 games they played? Nothing really went right for Dallas last week. It's more likely Atlanta has been overperforming the last few weeks. But Zeke limped off last week too with a knee injury. Dallas, has O-line issues. Not really convinced Dak is fully healthy yet. It's either that or, he's not fully healthy or he just needed a game to, under his belt to knock the rust off, and now he's ready. But Dallas in a tease is probably good. I don't hate that. Even if I don't have a bet on this game, this will definitely be a game I want to watch. I'm big into like the individual matchups. I don't care if it's like a shitty game or a game I don't have action on, but I want to see how Dallas plays the kid from Atlanta, the other tight end. Drawing a blank on his name. Pitts. He's a matchup nightmare. He's too big for most safeties and corners, but he's too fast for linebackers. So I kind of want to see Dallas put Trayvon Diggs on him, and I think that would be a really good individual matchup I want to see. But yeah, Dallas, #1 in yards per play with 16.5 in the league, 16.5 yards per play, and Atlanta's like 25th with 5.4, 5.5. It's a 1-yard difference every time they snap the ball. But I'm not making an opinion. I'm just going to root for Rich there. Hopefully Dallas blows them out. But let's keep it going here. What time is it? Almost 11:30. Buffalo, New York. I have like 6 or 7 systems matching on the Jets because they're a double-digit divisional home underdog. So a lot of them align like that. It's not like 6 unique systems, but yeah, all the action's on Buffalo. Line opened correct at 13. That's why we haven't seen, like, you know, they're not going to move to 14. 13's in that dead zone kind of. The next move is to 14, or, you know, I guess they could go to 13.5. But 5 dimes is at 14, but juiced. You can get plus 110 there for laying the 14. A lot of interesting historical trends in this game when you look at like the double-digit dogs in various spots. Like I said, the double-digit divisional home underdogs, they're 3-0. Double-digit, divisional home dogs are 3-0 this year. It's crazy that there's already been 3 of them, but and lifetime or since 2010, those spots are hitting at 56%, I believe. So it is a plus spot historically for the Jets. But Buffalo coming off that outright loss as a double-digit favorite, now being a double-digit favorite again, that's a plus spot for them because double-digit favorites off an outright loss is a rare spot. But 16-9 since 2000, double-digit favorites coming off a loss, an outright loss, and then double-digit favorites in back-to-back double-digit favorite spots coming off a loss is even more rare, but that's 3-0 since like 2000. It's only happened like 3 times, but I'm not really huge into historical trends because, I mean, you can break it down a million different ways. Like there's plus spots for Buffalo being a back-to-back double-digit favorite coming off a loss. That's a plus spot. But then you got the Jets as a double-digit divisional home underdog. So, I mean, that's a plus spot. So what do you do there? You know, if you dig deep enough, you can find these type of historical trends that match on both teams and support both sides. So I try not to pay too much about attention to them. It's different than the different systems, you know, like the situational systems, but those historical trends when the teams aren't even the same, the coaches, like it just, I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't think it's a good idea to weigh those with too much importance. But I don't look too much into Buffalo's loss last week, to be honest. They got caught sleeping versus a bad team. And as the saying goes, you know, like any given Sunday, you can't overlook teams. They had no energy. They deserved to lose. And it wasn't just the players who were asleep, too. That Buffalo game script, I watched that game back, and I couldn't believe the box score. I thought it was wrong. Buffalo threw the ball 51 times, only ran it 9 times, and it was a 3-point game the whole time. It's not like they were trailing by 2 scores. 51 passes to 9 rush attempts in a 3-point game. You know, I've been seeing like all the experts on Twitter, like the, you know, experts with quotes I put obviously, but the Jags might have exposed the blueprint to stop Buffalo. I don't think so at all. Buffalo just didn't show up. I think Buffalo rolls in this one. I don't think the Jets score much at all too. I'm thinking like a Buffalo 31-10 type game. That's kind of how I see this one playing out. But again, don't really want to lay or fade a double-digit divisional home underdog. Not that it's like some crazy like plus spot. In fact, like probably the past 5, 6, 7 years, it's probably just 50-50 spot. But still, it's just historically, it's around 56%. But all right, moving along here. We're looking Saints, Titans. I mean, the Saints, market-wise, game theory, they check everything for me. Confirmation. This is really like ideal betting percentages that you want to see. When you have a team that's only getting 35% of the bet, so it's under 50%, so it's a side that's getting the less action, but it equals, last night it was 67% of money. You know, the money's gone down a little bit, but it's still, you know, just simple math. Like if you're thinking, how can a team that's only getting 35% of all the bets equal 57% of the money? That's going to be some bigger size bets there. You know, Tennessee, they opened 3 and are stuck at 3. It's a tough move off of 3. Like if you go down to 3.5, you know, if you go up to 3.5, they'll get slammed with Saints action. You move down to 2.5, they'll get slammed with Titans action. Tennessee is just a weird team to me, man. They just keep finding ways to win. 5 straight wins, 4 straight wins as an underdog. But the market's caught up to them now because now they're a field goal favorite. You know, and Tennessee is a team that, like, their metrics, they've been winning, but winning ugly, and it can't continue. I mean, missing Derrick Henry has to catch up to them. that injured player theory doesn't work forever. I did like Tennessee the first game they played without Derrick Henry, but that can't last. I'm all over the Saints in this one. I have it as a best bet. It checks all the boxes for me. Saints have the point differential edge. They're rated higher in DVOA. And to be honest, as much as I like the Saints in this matchup, I think I don't like Tennessee even more. It's more like of a me not liking Tennessee in this spot. I think they're long overdue for a letdown. I know the Saints just lost to the Falcons, but they got caught in a letdown spot there off a big win versus Tampa Bay, big divisional matchup. It's really like the classic situational spot, I think, too. You know, Saints lose to a bad team, now playing a team who's like basically the talk of the league. Everyone's on them. You know, I posted the best bet Friday, Saints +3. Got a top 3 defense in the Saints in all meaningful metrics. Only real weakness for the Saints that kind of concerns me is they have a tendency to give up the big play. Their secondary's gotten burnt a couple times this year in big spots too, but hopefully not today. Let's see. What do we got here? Tampa Bay, Washington. Yeah, Washington's getting all the betting love. Line really hasn't moved on the opener, though. And 9.5 is, you know, kind of right before that key of 10. But another double-digit home dog here, though. You know, if you can get 10. What's interesting about this, though, is the look-ahead line here. Again, this is a line before Sunday, like last Sunday's games. You know, like books will open up. It's not the opening line, but it's technically the look-ahead line. But it was Tampa Bay -7.5. All right, both teams had a bye week last week, Washington and Tampa Bay. And then the line after Sunday on Monday opens up Tampa Bay -10 or -9.5. What changed? You know, they think Tampa Bay is a 7.5 point road favorite before Sunday. Both teams have a bye. Then the line goes up to 10. And it's not sharp action that moved it either because, I mean, it's basically where it reopened at. It wasn't like this line was sitting there all day Sunday and sharp action took it up to 9.5 or 10. You know, so I don't know. That's just weird to me. You know, call me crazy, though. I still believe in this Redskins defense. I know they've been awful. They're obviously underperformed like greatly compared to last year, but I just can't believe they're as bad as they played. I like Washington here. I did bet them +10, like for real money, like an official bet. But Washington's finally getting healthy. They're getting a ton of guys back this game. I think you know, Brady can be under some pressure in this game, and we all know, like, or you should know that Brady, you know, under pressure, he doesn't play as well. Not that many quarterbacks do, but anytime Brady has people falling at his feet or has to move in the pocket, he looks actually human. Bucks have a bunch of injury issues, too. They're thin at wide receiver. No Antonio Brown. Gronk's out. Godwin's questionable. They might be getting the dude Miller back, but if he doesn't play, who the hell's Brady even throwing to? Couple concerns, obviously, and probably why Washington isn't a best bet, even though I did bet them already. +10 isn't widely available. That's the first thing. I don't want to post a game or bet at +10, and you know you can only get 9.5. Brady coming off a bye after a loss. They lost, went into a bye. Isn't really a train I want to jump in front of. Also, Washington offense obviously stinks. They're allowing sacks. Kickers missing field goals, but they play hard. They don't lay down regardless of the score, and that's kind of what you want in like those double-digit dogs too. You want effort, not them to give up. The back door will be open, hopefully. I think if they can run the ball, that's the key. Slow the game down. Plus, Bucks don't really blow out teams and win by margin. It doesn't seem like they do. I don't have numbers to back that up, but they just seem to do enough to win. But I'm on the Skins here as the double-digit home underdog. Not a big full bet or anything. And like again, if I really, really liked them, it would be a best bet, but it is not. Okay, let's go here. What are we doing? Detroit Pitt. The big news here is with Big Ben getting ruled out late yesterday. I was looking at Detroit all week, including to like last night and before the Big Ben news broke. I think now Big Ben being out actually helps the Steelers. It's Rudolph now, and the whole injured player theory is in play. And just think last week alone, like how many quarterbacks sat out, had a backup come in, the line adjusts, whatever it did, and the team with the key player out still won. It was Murray for Arizona. I know they did. Rodgers, even Derrick Henry, Tennessee rolled without him. Tua sits, but even though Brissett and Tua are basically equal. But now with Big Ben out, do we see like another injured player theory spot? Rudolph comes in. Now you're getting 6.5 instead of like 8.5 or 9. So, yeah, it's a tough decision now with Big Ben out. The line has dropped below that TD. Not sure I can get there with the Lions now. Even though Detroit has their own, bet on situational spots. Anytime you have a winless team coming off their bye week, it's a plus bet spot. Historically, it's typically like a max effort spot. Like these guys aren't trying to go 0-17, obviously, and they're coming off a bye. They had 2 weeks to prepare. But I'll never bet on Jared Goff on the road, outdoors on grass. I actually want to check the weather here for this game. I think it's raining. It's going to be cold. Yeah, this is a pass for me. Even though I do kind of lean Detroit, not below 7, but Goff in this weather outdoors, that dude can barely friggin' throw in perfect indoor conditions. So, no, that's going to be a pass for me there. Vikings Chargers. What do we got here? Bet split, a little bit more money on the Chargers. And circa moved to 3.5. This line will close at 3, though. If you're betting this game, or if you have bet this game, I can already tell you what's a good bet and a bad bet, regardless of who wins or loses. But if you bet this game, you better have gotten on the right side of 3. Because both were available all week. You're taking the Chargers now at -3. Win or lose, it's not a good bet because you could have easily got -2.5, all week, except for today, but all week leading up to today, 2.5 was available. Getting on the right side of 3 alone is often the difference between like a winning season or winning month or winning week, over losing one, especially long term. At the current number, I lean Minnesota. You guys, again, you know how I feel about these 1 score or 1 possession losses. Vikings have a 3-5 record. All 5 of their losses are 1 score losses. 1 possession losses in the NFL, it's such a small difference between winning and losing. It could be 1 bad call from the ref, 1 turnover, 1 dropped ball. Like it's just, those 1 possession losses or wins could be flipped. Not saying all 5 losses could be wins, but the point is they could easily be 5-3 instead of 3-5, considering all 5 losses were less than 7 points. I like the Vikings defense too. Their top 10 unit, they're just banged up right now too, and it showed last week against Baltimore. Minnesota gave up, I know it was over 500 yards, and they were on the field. They were on the field for the entire 4th quarter and overtime. Baltimore's time of possession was 46 minutes to 23 minutes for Minnesota. It's a huge time of possession disparity. Vikings defense being banged up, they have to, even with them being banged up, they have to be better than the Chargers defense, who just continues to get gashed on the ground. But Chargers have their own injuries too, especially in the secondary. Cornerbacks, there's going to be like backups and practice squad guys on seeing playing time this week. And I'm pretty sure the Chargers, I want to double check this. I'm pretty sure they have the worst special teams unit in the league. I just want to double check this because I thought I saw it. Chargers. Chargers are ranked 32nd in special teams. Yeah, worst special teams unit in the league. And Kirk Cousins, he's playing good. 14 TDs to 2 picks, I think. 14 to 2 TD-INT ratio. Yeah, so I like Minnesota in this spot. Haven't bet them or anything, but all right. Got a couple more games left here. Arizona is hosting Carolina. What do we got here? Carolina getting 59% of the bets. A little bit more money, too. The line really hasn't done much. You can tell right now it's not going to be Murray. With Murray playing, this line would be 10. So the fact that it's dropping to 8.5, it hasn't been officially announced yet, but the line tells it all. It's going to be McCoy. Because if Murray was playing, this line would be 10.5 or 11, But the Panthers, man, they are in trouble. This team is in trouble. Guys were limping off the field last week, left and right. And most of them, I think I counted like 3 O-line injuries. Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson, they were fighting on the sideline. Carolina defense is trying to help, but there's just no offense. Now P.J. Walker is going to be behind center. I'm not even sure if I don't even know much about him, but I can't imagine that's going to work out good. But Arizona dominated last week. They look like they just can't do wrong. No Murray last week, no Hopkins, no Chase Edmonds. The market was going against them, and just still no problem. They win easily. Arizona 5-0 straight up and against the spread on the road, but all by double-digit wins too. But now they're in the role of a double-digit favorite at home, or were. Now it's kind of down to 8, but that's with McCoy coming off a big division win. Could be kind of a flat spot, but who knows? If it's Colt McCoy, I don't expect him to play as good as he did last week. So, one thing I'm thinking is kind of the under here. 2 good defenses. I kind of like the under there. Let's go Seattle, Green Bay. Green Bay getting more bets, 58% of the bets, but 64% of the money is on Seattle. This line kind of went all over the place. Green Bay opened 5.5, but a lot of the QB news early. It wasn't sure if Rodgers was going to play, and then Russell was kind of confirmed earlier in the week. But Seattle has gotten some respect market-wise there. That money, again, anytime you're seeing less bets, 42% of bets, and it's equaling 64% of the money, that's kind of a good indicator that there's bigger size bets on Seattle. Who bets bigger? Typically the more informed or sharper bettors. So Seattle market-wise is getting some respected bets here. Now, I lean under here. Both teams are getting their QBs back. I think they might start off a little slow. I went under 24 first half. I think that 24 in the first half is pretty high considering the full game totals like 49. So there's going to be weather here too. Let's see. It's in Lambeau. It's going to be cold, double-digit winds. Yeah, I mean, both QBs coming off of not playing. I have a unique system here too that's matching on Green Bay. I want to just double-check it to see if the parameters are still... I think so. Yeah, good teams coming off an L. It's actually it's a week 7 system on, so it only starts after week 7, but teams win percentage, they're a good team, 70% or more, and this is after week 7, so it's not like it's a fluke first couple games, and they're coming off a loss. It's a 60% situational spot that matches on Green Bay. It also matches on Dallas too, I believe. But all right, let's try to wrap this up. It's 11:45. It's going to take me some time to upload, but let's go Philly, Denver here. This is another game. Denver's getting most of the action, and it makes sense coming off that big win against Dallas. But again, the recency bias. A lot of this is the action is just based on perception, But this is another game. You should have got on the right side of 3. For Denver, -2 was available all week. And for Philly bettors, you should have been able to get +3 all week. Now, I mean, for Denver, Philly's getting, hit up with some sharp action. The lines moved down to basically 1-2 pick 'em. But this week, +3 was available for Philly pretty much all the way up to the weekend. But Philly got, it's weird. Philly's getting sharp betting action, consistently. They got sharp action last week against the Chargers. But I like Philly here too, against Denver, coming off a big upset win. They went into Dallas. They kind of caught them in a bad spot. Denver did. So, they kind of maybe riding high, but I don't look too much into that. Dak was, coming off an injury. And this Philly offense is getting better, man. Even though last week their run game for Philly, they gashed yeah, I mean, they went for big yards and gashed the Chargers, but it's a Chargers defense that was allowed that. But they've gashed other teams when they decide to actually run the ball. They don't go to the run all that much, and it's really the Eagles' defense I don't like, especially defending the pass. They have no pass rush. The secondary stinks. I want to say opposing QBs are completing like 80% of passes versus the Eagles. But if I did have to bet this game, I'd definitely go Eagles. But, watch that Denver game against Dallas last week. And, even though Dallas was in a bad spot situationally, the Broncos dominated that game. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They played physical. Teddy Bridgewater was slinging it. Defense got really big stops in key spots, but not ready to crown Denver or anything like that. They looked good, and if they played like they did last week, I don't think many teams would beat them. But maybe they're riding a little too high here now. I'd like Philly, but now at the current price, I don't even think it's worth it. It's a coin flip, and Denver at home and Mile High. All right, Sunday night game, and I think I'm going to just skip. Maybe I'll do the Monday night game too. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's 11:48. Okay, so we got KC versus Las Vegas. Yeah, KC, man, they're still getting all the bets and public support here, and it's like, are people watching the same KC team this year, or they just think it's like the KC team of old? This is an AFC West divisional game. Raiders are home dogs, but they're ahead of the Chiefs in the division. And again, so much of the NFL is just based on how teams are perceived. The Chiefs have been playing bad, but it's tough to shake the perception that they're bad or how they performed the past few weeks. They're known as a high-powered offense, but reality is now they're an under team. Last 4 games they've played, the combined score, but in those games have stayed way under. They combined for 20 points last week. I know that. I think 37 the week before, 30. I think 44 maybe the week before. But, this offense is in trouble, man. Last week, KC, they only had 1 pass over 20 yards, 237 total yards of offense. They had more 3-and-outs last week than they've had all season. Their defense is trying to hang tough, but it's the offense that's a big issue. KC receivers, they're not doing anything. Their O-line stinks. I like the Raiders here. I mean, their pass rush is legit. If you look at last week's box score, too, for the Raiders when they lost to the Giants, which is obviously perceived as a bad loss, and it is somewhat, but they lost. But it's important, to look at the box score. It's not like the Giants were the better team. Turnovers and red zone issues cost the Raiders. I mean, they put up 400 total plus yards, the Raiders did. They just shot themselves in the foot a couple times and a couple fluky mistakes. But I do lean under here, Raiders and under, but kind of like the under more. Basically just because I think bettors will all be on the over. But the Chiefs are not that team anymore. The odds makers are posting totals of 50. And the public perception, public love for betting primetime overs, I'm definitely looking under in this spot. What is it currently at? Yeah, under 52.5. Yeah, all right. Last game up, we got Rams, San Fran. This game feels real funny to me. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, everyone's all over the Rams coming off a loss. They would fit that other system too. Good teams after week 7 coming off a loss. But San Fran, 27% of the bets, almost equaling 60% of the money. Yeah, San Fran's sharp market-wise, and I agree with the market there. Both teams are coming off a loss as a favorite. Last week, San Fran, losing to Arizona by double digits in a game where they went from +2 and closed at -5. A lot of that had to do with Murray for Arizona not being out. But, San Fran, they lost a turnover battle last week by 3. It was a pretty bad game. Basically the total opposite of the previous week against the Bears. Rams played bad too. Robert Woods is now out for the season, ACL tear. So pretty much they need Odell now. It wasn't just like a pickup now that it's like he's a necessity. I definitely lean towards Niners though here. I think San Fran is a bit undervalued. I know they've lost 5 out of their last 6, but look who it's been against too. They've had a real tough schedule and they've been favored in almost every game, and now all of a sudden they're a home dog on Monday night. Just feels like, you know, I don't know. I just lean Niners here. I'm not sure if I'll get to the window with it, but it'd definitely be Niners or pass. Not really excited about backing a team like the Niners, who are 0-4 straight up and against the spread at home this year. And they're like 1-8 at Levi Stadium last 2 years combined. But just the Rams seem so trappy right now. Yeah. I don't know. Niners there for me on Monday night. We'll see if I do anything. But I think that's going to wrap it up for me. Man, I got to try to figure out this live stream stuff in the Discord community. It's always something, technical difficulties with me. I got to figure that out. But hopefully this will help. Hopefully I'll get it up. Hopefully at 12. It'll be enough time for you guys to kind of skip through and go to the games you like. But that's it for me. Good luck today with all your bets. Hope you guys crush it. Until next time, may all the refs' calls and all the loose balls go your way.